All right, guys. Well, if you can, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves really quick. Let us know who we're talking to.
I'm Blaine. I am 12, and my favorite place that I've been is the Grand Canyon.
Awesome.
My name is Alan. I'm 14, and the favorite place I've been to is Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm 20, and the favorite place I've been to is Lenore, North Carolina.
Great.
My name is Barbara, and my favorite place that I've been to is probably also Lenore.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you guys been on the road?
We have been full-time for 5.5 years. We went full-time December of 2017.
Okay. And if there was one thing to know about the Rhoads family, what would be the one thing to know about the Rhoads family?
That we love Jesus. We always have coffee on, and just come over and join us anytime. We really enjoy having people around.
That's good. So you guys are kind of good hosters. You guys like to host things and have people over, huh?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Well, what prompted you guys? I mean, out of all the things, what was the thing that kind of prompted you guys to consider living the RV life?
So it started off, it was just going to be 1 year grand adventure. We had money in savings. We owned a little travel trailer, and we were like, let's just go on this really great adventure for 1 year, go around the country and see all the things. And so that was what started it. We were dealing with California rent, which at that time was even less than it is now. And that was another part of it. It was just like financially, it was a good idea. And so we did 7 months, and at 7 months, we had the opportunity to go into a house, and that was vetoed by the children. All three of them were like, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. We want to keep doing this traveling. And so we go back and forth occasionally, like, you guys still want to travel? And so far the answer has been yes every time.
That's awesome. That's good. What were the first few months like? I mean, living on an RV, obviously there's got to be some sort of transition, but what were the first few months like?
It was in some ways lonely, but in other ways not at all. So we learned really, like, before we went full-time, we knew that we needed a community. And so we hooked up with full-time families before we ever went full-time, and had established a community already before we started. One of the things full-time families offers is a branch called Traveling Mercies, and they do things like Bible studies and service projects and just different ways for Christian families to find community.
Yeah.
And so I was already doing a Bible study before we ever even moved into the RV. So then when we moved in, it just made it easier transition. But we did spend the first 2 months without any other families near us. So it was just the people we met at campgrounds. And that's when we learned, you got to put yourself out there. You got to be willing to sit out by your campfire and wave at people, say hi, introduce yourself, and don't be shy.
Yeah. That's really good. And so you guys, you already plugged in with the group, with a couple of those groups, Traveling Mercies and Full-Time Families. How did you find out about Gathering of Nomads?
So I'm gonna let Elizabeth, because I found out about it from Elizabeth.
Okay.
She was like, Mom, I found this new group. They're small, but they're like amazing. And so I don't know how she found out. So I'm gonna let her.
So I was just really feeling like we needed more like Christian connections. And so I just went on Facebook one day and looked up to like see if there were any other Christian RV groups. And I came across Gathering. And I was like, I scrolled through and I was like, Mom, you really got to come see this. And so that's how we found it.
That's awesome. And obviously people join different Facebook groups. What do you feel is different about Gathering Nomads than some of the other groups that you guys have been in or been a part of?
I think when you shared your vision, like on the Facebook page, and then when we talked later, just seeing that vision, like replicating. It's not like we're a one-man army out there trying to serve the Lord on our own. It's this community of believers that are out there, and we're not alone. There's somebody at the end of a text message, at the other end of a Facebook message, you know, a Facebook post. Like, there's always, you have made it so that there is a community available for the Christians out there.
Yeah, it's I will say it definitely, it feels different than the other Facebook groups that we're all part of. So I appreciate that. Those are very kind words. How has, I mean, for you guys have been a part of so much, and so influential, obviously, in the RV world. How has being part of at least Gathering of Nomads online community helped influence or even change the way you're doing life in your camper or wherever you're at?
It's definitely encouraged us to be a bit more bold with people, not being afraid to like really put ourselves out there with others. Like before, I think we were kind of, in a way, a little bit closed off to the non-families. Like we would always, if we saw a family like at the playground or something, we'd always invite them over. But like but since we've joined, we've definitely been more open to inviting non-family.
Yeah.
Different age groups.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
yeah, so we've actually had several retirees come over and have campfires with us, which was something that it's in the full-time world. It's like, and I don't mean it like horrible, but it's us and them, right? It's the families with kids and the retired. And it's been really fun to watch how those two have combined, in part because of Gathering of Nomads.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's always been our goal is, you know, we're all part of the same community, and we don't have to be separated by, you know, by anything, specifically age. So what has been, you know, on the heels of all that, what has been like just one God story? I know there's probably 100 of them, but what's one God story since you guys have become being a chapter? What's been one God story that you guys would want others to hear?
I'm gonna say it's the pulling together of Gathering of Nomads, the chapter leaders especially, to like pray and encourage. You know, we hear a lot about, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, and what I have watched and witnessed in Gathering of Nomads is not just a, I'm going to pray for you, but a reaching out. I am praying for you. Here's my prayer for you right now. Can I call you and pray with you? And it's encouraged us to do that more. I've always been a firm believer in pray right now. I've not always been so bold as to text or call somebody and say, let me pray for you right now. And so that has increased our boldness. I don't know that it's a God story. It's not like maybe some of the others, but for me, it's like that stepping out in boldness and in faith that maybe wasn't quite as bold previously.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Elizabeth, do you have any that you want to share?
Kind of what she said.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I appreciate that. There's definitely been lots of things that have happened that have been outside of what we would have ever expected, for sure. For sure. So if there was someone out there right now, and you had a chance to speak to them directly, that was just on the fence about getting more involved with Gathering of Nomads, or even just more involved in more regular ministry, what would you say to them to encourage them?
So for me, it would be, how can I help you? What can I do? How can I come alongside you and encourage you? What can I pray for you about this that you want to do? How can I, is there something that I can do? You know, do you want me to host the first campfire so that you can come to my campfire and, you know, see that it's a little stretch of faith, but it's like pretty simple stretch of faith to just do these little things and how can I help you have that courage to do those little things? That's kind of where I feel most led, is to like, what can I do to help? What can I do to encourage? And not necessarily my way, because like my way isn't always the best way for everybody else. But we all know our strengths, or most everybody knows their strengths, and they know their weaknesses. And so if I can come in and alongside of the weakness or the strength to help, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's good. Elizabeth, do you have anything?
Um, um,
If you had a friend or someone that you had met at a campground that was just thinking about getting more involved and they were feeling a little hesitant, what would you say to them?
honestly, I would say just do it. For me, like, it's just jumping out there and taking that like kind of leap of faith to just get in there. So like this last year, I did my first Bible study on my own of leading it, and it was that total thing of just putting myself out there and going, okay, God, work through me, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, you guys. Well, if you wanted to tell anybody that is not living the RV life, and you wanted to share with them what God has been doing in your life, how would you summarize that with just one sentence? Like what God has been doing in and through you guys in this, even just this last year.
Once a, um, God has provided many opportunities for growth and encouragement in this last year of full-time RV life.
Good. Cool.
I think for me, if I was to say that to someone, I say this to our family a lot through some of the things that are going on, is God's got this.
There you go. That's good. That's good. And then last question. If there were people right now that were considering joining the full-time RV lifestyle living, what would you say to them?
Do it.
Do it. Get connected early. Make sure you find people who have similar beliefs, and then jump in and go. It's one of the most amazing things that I've ever done in my life.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking time out of your day and sharing with me and sharing with other people what your experience has been in the ministry, in the full-time living, all of it. It's encouraging.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right.